Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us on the conversation. Now, John, Dramani Mahama won the 2004 presidential election, that's 2024 presidential election in Ghana, with 56.55% of the total valid votes cast. Now, this marks a significant comeback from Mahama, who was voted out of office in 2016 due to corruption scandals and also an energy crisis. His campaign message focused on running a lean government and stimulating Ghana's economy, which resonated with voters amid rising poverty and a high cost of living. However, funding his agenda remains a challenge given Ghana's dire financial situation. So what strategies should he employ to address Ghana's significant debt and low investment? And also, how will he balance the need for economic growth with the imperative of reducing poverty and also improving living standards? Well, joining us this evening to speak on this, we have Romeo Amponsah-Aduakye, political analyst in Ghana. Thank you so much, Romeo, for joining us on the conversation.
Thank you so much for the opportunity given.
It's a pleasure. Now, Mahama's 2024 victory represents a significant political shift, no doubt, reflecting discontent with the previous government. But does this victory signal a genuine transformation in voter trust?
Thank you very much for the opportunity once again, and thank you to your viewers watching across the globe. President Mahama has set a huge record as the first president to lose by close to 1 million votes, and at the same time is coming back won by over 1.6 million votes. The voter turnout wasn't that encouraging because we had only 61% turning out to go and vote. But if you look at the percentage chalked by His Excellency President Mahama, 56.55%, this is a clear indication that the Ghanaian people believe in the man that he is able to do the job and then transform the Ghana. During his campaign time, he told Ghanaians that Ghana is on the wrong path and therefore the nation needs to be reset. So he is here again to reset the nation Ghana and then build a better Ghana for all Ghanaians across the globe. If you look at the voter turnout, it has never happened before since 1996 that a president will win by 56.55%. This is a clear indication that the people of Ghana were not happy with an Anadu Baumia-led government. So therefore, they voted for a change for the president-elect Mahama to come back and then complete his last 4-year term. He made a lot of promises to the people of Ghana, and I believe that the promises he made fell on good ears. That is why the people of Ghana voted for him.
Now, speaking of some of these promises, now the Afrobarometer survey shows that 82% of Ghanaians believe the country is on the wrong track. What are the tangible steps, to take that to also address such widespread ideas in light of rising inflation and poverty?
Day in and day out, inflation goes up in the country. Before the elections in December 7th, inflation came down, and people thought that it was a massage inflation. Day in, day out, the prices of goods and services, fuel prices, energy prices are all shooting up. And then the president told the people of Ghana that he has the magic to wind up the country, to turn the fortunes of the country upside down. So he said that he's going to reduce inflation, and again, he's going to stabilize the city. It will interest you to know that somewhere in 2023, the city shot up against the dollar to almost 20 cities. And as we speak now, it is back to 14 cities per city. So Ghanaians are optimistic that President Mahama has a magic hand to change the fortunes of this nation. Day in and day out, Ghanaians are crying and Ghanaians are complaining about the level of expenditure going on in the country. The president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in 2017 told Ghanaians that he was in a hurry. So he appointed more than 110 ministers and deputy ministers to state affairs of the nation. President Mahama is promising Ghanaians that he's going to work with a maximum of 60 ministers and their deputies, which is a way of cutting down on the government expenditure. He is always looking at widening the tax net and also taking off some taxes in the country. Example would be the e-levy, the electronic levy. Example would be the betting tax and other emission tax to lighten the burden on the Ghanaians. So Ghanaians are looking at him he has made 26 promises to the people of Ghana that in the first 120 days in office, he's going to turn the fortunes of the nation around, especially when it comes to the price of goods and services in the country. So Ghanaians are very optimistic. They are in high hopes, waiting for President Mahama to start work on the 7th of January and then bring a change to the price of goods and services.
Okay, he talked about, running a lean government. Now, how will this lean government policy differ from his approach in the first term, where his administration was criticized for inefficiencies and also alleged corruption?
Now, the president has been a president before. That was in 2012 to 2016. I believe that he has sat down, analyzed what sent him off the high office of Ghana, and he believes that Ghanaians can work with a 60 or a lean government. You see, when a majority of the ministers in Ghana are drawn from the Parliament of Ghana, and somehow, some way, they are given additional, not salary, but additional allowances because they are members of Parliament and they are also working as ministers. When he limits the cabinet members to 60, the other 50 or the other 51 will help the nation Ghana to retain some amount of money, because 50 out of the rest that president, another was used, another was having 110 ministers. Dr. Mahama said he's going to have 60 ministers. The amount of money that will be used to pay the additional 50 can do something for the nation Ghana, because economically, Ghanaians are struggling, Ghanaians are suffering. When we come to the area of education, the area of health, there are a lot of unemployment graduates sitting at home. We have teachers who have completed their studies at the various training colleges and various universities. They are unemployed. We have nurses backlog, they are unemployed. So cutting down on the ministers, having a new ministers, will help the government to at least draw some amount of money from the accumulated ministers that the current president was having. And this is another way of having revenue for the nation Ghana.
Okay. Now, do you think that Mahama's promises, because he made so many promises, his promise of a 24-hour economy truly addresses Ghana's economic problems?
He believes that people can work more than 8 hours. So that is why he brought up the 24-hour economy, where we are going to have 3 groups, each working 8 hours in a day. This is in line to create employment for the youth, because the youth of Ghana went into the polls because they are unemployed. They went into the polls to vote for him because there is economic hardship in the system. And he believes that with a 24-hour economy, for example, if you are in the industry business, you go for work in the early hours of the morning, you close by 2 p.m., another group will take over. So within the 24-hour economy, you're going to have 3 groups of people working for the nation Ghana. And he believes that through that, a lot of the youth, a lot of Ghanaians will be employed.
So is this policy even feasible, considering Ghana's infrastructure and resource limitations, and also given that the IMF's, given the IMF's ongoing financial support?
I believe that the policy will have its challenges because there are some sectors in the country that run the 24-hour economy. We can talk about the health sector, the nurses and the doctors, we run the 24-hour economy. We can also talk about the security vendor, also do the 24-hour economy. But this is new to the Ghanaian populace, and it's going to come with a lot of challenges. I believe that it is feasible, but it will take some time, take into consideration the conditionalities of the IMF, cutting down some employment, and then the government is about to settle its debtors because of the IMF conditionalities. The program will not roll out as expected. That is my thought, because the nation Ghana is not standing right when it comes to the economic wise. And I believe that it's feasible, but it's going to face a lot of challenges.
So now let's talk about, or let's compare Mahama's agriculture for economic transformation agenda vision. That's in his previous administration. Let's compare it to previous administrations now. With Ghana's reliance on exports like gold, cocoa, and oil, can agricultural modernization, really serve as the primary engine for economic growth in Ghana?
The world is moving away from just agriculture as your source of income to a nation. Now we are looking at industrialization, we are looking at digitalization. And I believe that over the years, the number of cocoa tons being produced in Ghana has gone down. Ghana used to be the leading producer of cocoa and then gold, but as we speak, it is no more. So I believe that if President Mahama will only rely on agriculture, I think that the nation Ghana would not be on the right path as a lot of Ghanaians expect the nation to be. I believe that he should pay attention to industrialization, he should pay attention to digitalization, because there are a lot of corruption going on in the system where you go to an office, you need to pay money before a service is rendered onto you. Let me take the Vice President, for example, Dr. Baumia. His digitalization, the form of passport application and other application, has been able to curtail a lot of rot when it comes to generation of revenue for the nation Ghana. So I believe President Mahama should pay attention to the digital world. He should also pay attention to the industrial world, because if you pay attention to only agriculture, now Ghanaians are over-reliant on the weather, which is water, artificial water from God. So when in the season when there are no rains, it means it's going to affect the produce being produced from our various farms to the various cities and the various rural areas. So I believe that relying alone on agriculture is not ideal in this 21st century Ghana or the 21st century world. I believe the president should look at how to modernize the industries, how to put in effort into the industries, and then concentrate on the digital world. When all these things are put together, I believe that the economy of Ghana will grow instead of relying on only agriculture.
Now, modernizing the economy will not work without employment, and we know that youth unemployment has been a major issue in Ghana. So, what policies should Mahama prioritize in order to create meaningful jobs for Ghana's growing youth population?
The president spoke about the youth apprenticeship program during his campaign on Jenny. He said that not all Ghanaians would like to enroll at the universities or the polytechnics or the other tertiary institutions after school. There are some who would like to go into the area of apprenticeship. So he's bringing out the youth apprenticeship program, where he's going to cater or he's going to fund for the apprenticeship program of any youth who is ready to go into apprenticeship, either in the area of engineering, either in the area of dressmaking. Which area you want to go, the president is ready to fund you so that you go into that area. And then again, the president also spoke about creating 1 million digital jobs for the youth. The youth in Ghana do cry a lot, because there are a majority of them who sit in the house after school, after tertiary university, after other programs that they don't have any work to do. So I believe that the issue of employment is of prime concern.
Democratic.
Hello, Romeo.
So I believe that when it's drastically.
Hello, Romeo. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we lost you there for a bit. Now, but we're still talking about, unemployment, which has actually pushed so many individuals into illegal mining. Let's talk about, the challenges that,
Yes.
that's been posed by illegal mining and also environmental degradation. Do you think that, his administration is prepared to tackle the long-established or the entrenched political and economic interests that enable illegal mining?
Illegal mining, of which most Ghanaians call it galamsey, has done a lot of harm to our water bodies and our rivers. We have a lot of doctors telling us that majority of the children being given birth in those mining areas do have some birth deficiencies. And I believe that the president is aware that the illegal mining is being championed by his own people. When I say his own people, I'm talking about politicians. There are a lot of politicians indulged in illegal mining from both divides of the country, either the MPP or the NDC. Most of them are involved in this illegal mining. So if the president will be able to crack the whip, if the president will be able to punish his own appointees or his own party people who are involved in galamsey, then there is a high tendency and possibility that the fight against galamsey can be solved. And again, in Ghana, the lands are being owned by the traditional leaders. So I believe that the president should liaise with the traditional leaders. They know the hook and cranny of where these galamsey activities take place. So when the president is able to work hand in hand with traditional authorities, and then when he's able, as promised, that he's going to make sure that there is going to be responsible mining here, that they are going to audit every miner with a certificate to see that whatever you are doing does not cause any harm to our river bodies. It will interest you to know that even on the Accra-Kumasi Road, the two major cities in Ghana, you will see galamsey activities going on. And then nothing is being done about it because it is believed that the politicians who are leading the nation Ghana are involved in galamsey. So like as I said earlier, the president will be able to crack the whip on political appointees, on politicians from his government who are into the Galamsey Act, and then work hand in hand with the traditional authorities. I think the fight of galamsey can be won.
Absolutely. Now, just before we wrap up, Romeo, do you think that Mahama can leverage his experience in West African diplomacy, and also as previous role with his previous role as chair of ECOWAS, to attract foreign aid or even secure a more favorable economic deal or deals for Ghana?
Thank you. During his campaign, he used to say that Ghanaians to choose experience over experiment. Experience here means that he has been on the seat of government before, and then Dr. Bawumia has never been president before. I believe that the president-elect, President Mahama, has a lot of good relationship with the West African sub-regional heads. Quite recently, he met with your president, President Tinubu. I believe that he has what it takes to bring Ghana back to where it belongs, because he has served before, he has seen it before. And I believe that if he is coming back again, he is going to correct the wrong that he did in his previous administration in 2012 to 2016. I believe that he is coming in as a more mature politician. He is coming in as somebody who has been on the seat of government before and saw what took him to position. One thing that took Mahama to position will be corruption, and then DUMSO, which is electricity challenges. So I believe that his relationship with the West African leaders, the relationship with African leaders, will help him this time around to put Ghana back to where Ghana belongs.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Romeo Amponsah-Aduakye, political analyst from Kumasi, Ghana, for joining us on the conversation and speaking to us on this.